We're live, everyone. Welcome to the No DQ recap of Friday Night Smackdown for March 20th, 2020. The road to WrestleMania continues. The road to WrestleMania at the Performance Center. We had Michael Cole introduce the show. He talked about how WrestleMania is too big for one night. And because of that, WrestleMania needs a big host. Rob Gronkowski, however you pronounce his name, Gronk, he was introduced. We had a video package from his NFL career. However, Mojo Rawley was in the ring with Michael Cole, and Mojo said that Michael Cole was not hyped enough. He even started spanking Cole on the butt because Cole was not getting hyped. Mojo did the proper introduction, I should say, for Gronk. Gronk came out and started dancing. Looks like he has been taking his dancing lessons from Vince McMahon, probably. Gronk came into the ring and interviewed with Michael Cole. Talked about how he started watching wrestling in the second grade when he was growing up in Buffalo, New York. Said he's been to sold-out WrestleMania shows in front of 80,000 people. And now he's in front of 0 people. But you know what? He's still hyped. He's still excited. Mojo then talked about how he has Gronk's back. Then we had Baron Corbin, King Corbin, come out. Mojo and Gronk had started messing around, chopping each other, horse playing, whatever you want to call it. Corbin came out and said that Gronk is setting himself up for failure by getting advice from Mojo Rawley. No lies detected there, but whatever. Corbin said that Gronk needs to bow down to him. Gronk, of course, said, not going to happen. Elias then interrupted the festivities, started singing a song. He was wishing that there were people there to see him live. Corbin then got into Gronk's face, and while this was going on, Mojo got down on the ground behind Corbin. Gronk shoved Corbin, and Corbin tripped over Mojo, falling to the ground, and then Elias tossed Corbin over the top rope. And Gronk suggested a match for WrestleMania. King Corbin versus Elias, which I think prior to when all this coronavirus stuff started going down, I think we were all expecting this match to be on the 16-match card for WrestleMania. Now that WrestleMania is too big for one night and they're doing 2 nights, looks like we're going to get 14, 15 matches. Probably 14 because the Battle Royals are not happening, at least it appears that way. Just because with the whole restriction of having no more than 50 people in the building, it's going to be really difficult to do a 20-person battle royal, and having that many people in close proximity just really isn't a good idea under the circumstances. So looks like we're at least being spared the battle royals this year. But I still think we're getting 14 empty arena matches, so might be a long 2 days, even though WrestleMania is split up into 2 days. Shout out to everyone in the chat room for watching tonight. I thank you for your viewership and support. Please spread the word if you enjoy this video. Tell a friend. Check out the other content on the channel. Lots of content for you guys. Under the circumstances, you're probably home, social distancing, whatever you want to call it. We got the No DQ review. We got the No DQ debate. We got all the other videos from this past week. Check it out. over on the No DQ YouTube channel. And make sure you guys subscribe if you haven't already. We had a tag team match. Yes, we actually had a match on SmackDown. We had Daniel Bryan teaming up with Drew Gulak against the Artists Collective. That is, in fact, the name of this new group. It consists of Shinsuke Nakamura, Cesaro, and Sami Zayn. Somebody pointed out that Corey Graves mentioned this name a couple of weeks ago, so I guess that's the name now since AEW dropped the Nightmare Collective. The blank collective is up for grabs. We have the Artists Collective. And by the way, no Corey Graves, second week in a row. Now, Corey does have kids, and maybe Corey is one of those guys that doesn't want to risk spread of the disease, and because he has kids, he's being extra cautious. Haven't heard any official word on that. I'm not sure if Corey has said anything on his podcast, but I have not heard anything regarding him not being on the show 2 weeks in a row. He has kids. Like Heath Slater, Corey Graves has kids, damn it. And also, Carmella was not on the show, which would also indicate that she's staying with Corey and spending time, the two of them together. I know on Total Divas there was talk about Carmella moving in with him, so I'm wondering if that has already happened. But yeah, no Corey Graves, no Carmella. Sami Zayn was on commentary for the match, and Michael Cole talked about the, quote, dire circumstances in the world. Again, no mention of the term coronavirus. Daniel Bryan tagged into the match, and with the help of Drew Gulak, he did a sunset flip to pin Cesaro. After the match, in the backstage area, Sami Zayn was very upset. He said it was a mediocre win, and he asked Bryan, when is Bryan going to start listening to him instead of a nobody like Drew Gulak? Bryan then challenged Sami Zayn to a match at WrestleMania. Zayn said, okay, but on one condition. If Gulak could beat Shinsuke Nakamura on next week's SmackDown, Bryan will get his match at WrestleMania. I'm guessing next week Gulak will defeat Nakamura and we'll get Sami Zayn versus Daniel Bryan WrestleMania. I'm not complaining. I think that'll be a hell of a match. I just wish they were able to perform in front of a crowd, but we all know the situation, and this is what we're having to accept over the next potentially several months. We had Michael Cole introduce Paige. Paige was not on the show last week. She was on this week via Skype. She was immediately interrupted by Bayley and Sasha Banks. Bayley wanted Paige to get her announcement over with. Paige referred to them as bullies and talked about how all the women have played a role in the women's revolution, not just Bayley and Sasha. Bayley said, Paige, why not do something about it? However, Paige can't because she's hurt. She can't wrestle anymore. Paige said, yes, it's true. She's not able to wrestle. Her passion has been taken away. However, Paige did talk to Fox executives, and Paige gets to announce Bayley's opponent for WrestleMania. Paige said that at WrestleMania, Bayley will face Lacey Evans and Dana Brooke. And then Bayley said, well, who else? Tamina? And that Bayley was like, wait a minute, does Tamina even work here anymore? Paige was like, all right, fine. Tamina as well. And also, Naomi. Sasha was getting upset at this point. She called Paige a bitch. Then Paige finished off by saying that there will be a sixth participant to make it a six-pack elimination match for the women's title at WrestleMania. And that sixth person, that sixth opponent, will be Sasha Banks. Little dissension there, a little bit of a tease with Sasha wondering how is she going to handle the situation. We then add our match replay because we have to have time filler here. We had John Cena versus Bray Wyatt from WrestleMania 30 shown in its entirety. And hey, there was Luke Harper, the Exalted One, Brody Lee on SmackDown, back on SmackDown. What a comeback for Luke Harper. Of course, for those of you that have been living under a rock, John Cena did win that match. And that's the whole reason, apparently, for The Fiend even existing. We also had a recap of the last couple weeks with the match being set up and then the promo back and forth between them on last week's show. Mr. Dark Fantasy with a $2 super chat says, why aren't there board of directors used anymore? Well, for whatever reason, WWE has decided to not have authority figures, which I get because authority figures have really been overdone in wrestling over the years, but I don't see the problem with a babyface authority figure. It is weird when wrestlers are just making their own matches and there's no person to say, yeah, maybe you'll get the match, maybe you won't. I'm fine with the general managers. I just think when we had the heel general manager, it's overkill. That should not be done anymore, but I'm totally fine with at some point we get some babyface general managers in there to make the matches and kind of be the law and order on screen. We had Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross interviewed to talk about what happened last week when Asuka interfered in their match against Bayley and Sasha. Alexa challenged Asuka to a match on next week's SmackDown. Still no announcement regarding the women's tag team title match for WrestleMania, but I'm guessing next week we'll get some kind of build towards that. We had the dirt sheet with John Morrison and The Miz. Hey, hey, ho, ho. They talked about how they don't have any challengers. They've already beaten everyone at Elimination Chamber. Miz then said maybe they should ask the audience. And we cut away to what at first I thought was the New Day because we heard the "aw" from Big E, but instead it was Miz dressed up like a unicorn. He had the unicorn on his head, and Morrison actually had a full-blown unicorn outfit that he was wearing. They started mocking the New Day, and then we had another cut to a different side of the arena, or the Performance Center, with the Usos. But they were actually Miz and Morrison dressed up as the Usos, doing the whoa, whoa, whoa. And then we cut again to Miz and Morrison dressed up as Heavy Machinery in bacon outfits. And the other teams were saying that they were ham outfits. This actually was funnier than it probably sounds. I did find this to be a funny segment. The real Heavy Machinery did come out. We had a tag team match, holla, holla, holla. Dolph Ziggler came out for a distraction. Miz got a near fall. Ziggler got on commentary and talked about how he did not steal Mandy Rose away from Otis. Otis, he missed out. And all Ziggler did was take over. We had the static interruption, which we've seen on SmackDown for the past several weeks. So that has not been dropped yet. Not sure when we're going to have that big reveal. Otis went for the Caterpillar. Ziggler got on the mic and started showing pictures on the big screen of Ziggler and Mandy Rose together on dates. Otis got really upset. Poor Otis. He went after Dolph Ziggler. Miz and Morrison attempted to stop him, but then Otis, just with pure rage, managed to get the best of both of them. And he ended up driving both of them through the barricade. Tucker tried to calm Otis down. Otis then took a steel chair and hit Miz and Morrison with it, causing a disqualification. So I'm guessing we'll see something with Miz and Morrison against either New Day and Usos, because it was announced that on next week's show, Usos will face New Day. Winning team faces Miz and Morrison at WrestleMania, and Otis and Ziggler will have some sort of match, maybe another tag team match, Roode and Ziggler versus Heavy Machinery, or 6-person mixed tag team match with Mandy Rose involved. We'll just have to wait and see, but looks like we're going to have a pretty solid card for WrestleMania. Here I was just hoping they would do, 8 or 9 matches, but now that they're doing the 2 nights, looks like we're getting 14 matches and maybe even more than that at this point. We had the final segment of the evening, which was the contract signing between Goldberg and Roman Reigns. Michael Cole was the moderator. Both of them immediately took their chairs and threw their chairs out of the ring. Goldberg said that he was hoping that Roman Reigns would challenge him, but he did not think that Roman would have the balls to actually do it. Goldberg must not be watching very much WWE programming, or maybe he's just that arrogant that he thinks everyone's afraid of him. I don't know. Roman said that Goldberg is just like John Cena, Brock Lesnar, and so forth. They all talked a big game, but they all lost to the big dog. Cole then brought up a tweet from January where Roman Reigns responded to a fan about using his fist when he hits the floor, and there's a crash pad there. And during that time period, we all thought that this was going to be the setup for this match, because Roman Reigns just randomly took a shot at Goldberg. And that wouldn't have been done for no reason. I mean, it was a tease. It was a tease for WrestleMania. And Michael Cole asked about it. Reigns said that all he sees in Goldberg is a little bitch bulldog. Why is he so angry at Goldberg? But anyways, the gist of it is that Goldberg has his title. And then Goldberg said that Roman Reigns is going to be the next victim. They both signed the contract. Goldberg flipped over the table because maybe he saw Undertaker do it on Raw and thought he could do it better. He flipped over the table. They had their stare down, and then SmackDown went off the air. I have to say, this was a bit underwhelming. Lack of a crowd and just not much to it. It just feels like they had to come up with some kind of heat for the match. But to me, it's not really believable. Like, why is Roman Reigns so angry with Goldberg, calling him a bitch bulldog? And why does Goldberg think Roman Reigns has no balls to fight him? I don't know. I just think it lacked creativity as far as giving these guys a good conflict and a good reason to hate each other. So yeah, just didn't buy into it. I do like the Otis stuff. Again, I wish there was a crowd for it, but they're continuing the story. I like Otis going crazy at the end. Miz and Morrison was pretty funny. The Bayley match, I mean, it is what it is. The SmackDown Women's title isn't really a priority, although it is getting a decent amount of TV time. Just feels like another match thrown together. Bryan and Zayn, I'm looking forward to that. Should be a solid WrestleMania match for the IC title. Again, I'm not going to do a letter grade for SmackDown. Overall, it was very skippable. I give WWE credit for trying to give us something under the circumstances, but man, AEW was just such a better show. So that's all I'm going to say about it as far as my thoughts on SmackDown. Ken terminated by Google with a $2 super chat. Thank you for that, Ken. He says, Virtue versus Stefan was better than Goldberg versus Reigns. Well, I do appreciate that, Ken. And if you guys get a chance, check out the video that we did, the Great No DQ debate. I thought that turned out very well. Both guys brought some strong arguments to the table. Check it out on the channel. And again, if you like this video, make sure you guys subscribe. And I know most of you are subscribed, but if you can, just share a link to this video or tell a friend. We're in a period right now where people are at home. They're looking for something to watch. Let them know about the channel. Let them know about NoDQ.com. Please keep spreading the word. And all I have to say to everyone out there is have a great weekend, the best weekend you possibly can. Be safe, take care of yourself and your loved ones. And I will see you guys next